Alright, so I've been watching these YouTube videos about how good players would be beaten by scrubby players and they get upset. And then they'll complain about it saying, oh, all he does is this one move over and over and it's so cheesy. Well, this happens in a lot of fighting games. Like, let's take Street Fighter 4, for example. You play a Sagat player that does tiger shots all day in the corner, and then if he's not in the corner, he'll jump back, kick into more tiger shots, and when you get close, he'll do Shoru or Tiger Knee or something. In Melty Blood, let's say you're doing some pressure string, and the guy matches 2A or 2C out of your pressure, and then you eat like just random hits, and then you lose. And then you get upset. Or like in Guilty Gear, where you're playing a random scrub soul bad guy player, and all he does is Grand Viper, Volcanic Viper, just all day, and then you eat those and you get upset. Now scrubs are, let's say, very predictable. They do the same thing over and over. They react the same way in the same situations. Basically, they're not very dynamic in their thinking. I'm talking about like the majority of scrubs. I mean, there's some scrubs that have some sort of insight of how fighting games work and how to read your opponent and all that. But in general, the difference between a scrub, a good player, and a pro is that scrubs do the same thing over and over, like I mentioned before, and they don't really adjust. They're used to, I guess they don't think about the opponent, they just think about themselves. Now, a good player would do, they know their B&Bs, they know some pressure strings, they know combos and like advanced combos and how to win. But they don't really know how to play against scrubs. I mean, they have that mindset where it's like, alright, well, like, okay, just think of it this way. When you play a scrub, you have to keep them as a scrub. Like, alright, you're killing the scrub, right? And then you get a knockdown. And the moment you think that he will become a good player and decide to block on wake up, you eat a Shoru instead. And this happens a lot because good players don't know how to play against scrubs. Now a pro can adjust easily between, high level play, medium level play, and low level play. And they know how to adjust in different situations and win matches like that. Alright, now I would classify myself as a scrubby good player because I mix scrub tactics with good play. Like, I know my B&Bs, I know advanced techniques and how to read my opponent and how to win. Now, the reason why I mix scrub tactics with good play is, well, obviously, there's a reason why all these good players would complain about scrubs. I mean, if they didn't lose to scrubs, then they wouldn't be complaining. Let's say you're playing Melty, and you're doing a B&B, and all of a sudden you get mashed out of it, and you call him a scrub. Well, that is what I look for. Like, things that shouldn't work, but they miraculously do. And then you get called a scrub for it, because you're doing something unorthodox that should never work, but does. And I guess that is my style of play. And also, like, I do a lot of random crap that that just like pisses people off. Like sometimes I'll even go beyond that and just start doing ridiculous taunt moves and taunt style plays. But I don't know. That's just me. Going back to the why good players lose to scrubs. Part of the reason I think is the character matchup. In my opinion, some characters are more prone to scrub tactics than other characters. Let's say, for example, your character can't handle fireballs really well. Your character can't, play around them, can't punish them as well as other characters. Or maybe your character eats a lot of random hits, like sweeps. Or if your character has very limited mobility, or maybe he takes a lot of damage or something. These factors play a role into whether or not you get beaten by a scrub, or even non-scrub players too. There have been times where I'm playing a scrub and I win the first 20 matches in a row using my ult with like just my standard playstyle, and then I want to switch to my main, and then I'm playing them and I end up almost losing a match, whereas before I never even lost a round or came close to it. The reason why I think this is because one reason might be my mindset, where I'm not treating them as a scrub, where like I'll do a combo instant knockdown and then I'll try to tick throw them, but instead of it working out for me, I'll get mashed out of it or something. Another reason might be the general matchup, like the tier listing and stuff. And the other reason might be that my character can't handle scrubby play as well as my ults could. And you have to keep this in mind while playing a scrub, and you have to develop within your character these anti-scrub tactics that work. Like, let's say your opponent's smashing a lot. Well, you can find a good zoning move with high priority to counter that, or like maybe a poke. If your opponent is mashing every time like they get out of a block string, well, you can do like a stagger or something like that. But not all scrubs react the same way though. So usually when I play scrub, I spend the first round dissecting their gameplay. Well, not even a scrub. Like if I play anybody that I never played before, I usually spend the first round dissecting their gameplay, checking out their style, seeing how they react in certain situations. It's like if I throw a move out, what will they do? And then if I throw the same move out in the same situation, will they do the same thing or will they react differently? And once you understand how they work, how they think, then they're really easy to predict. But yeah, they'll get like a hit or two, randomly. But scrubs, that's really all they can do. They can't do much outside of that. So once you understand scrubs, you'll have a much easier time beating them, and that's just what I think.